It's time to rant it up.
Look, he's back.
Before we go into anything, I'm going to say right now, we're probably not going to do a Vanguard episode review this week because,
Only one thing happened.
like other than them invading, what is there really to say?
One game.
They started the game. They played the game.
And they've yet to
Actually,
finish
stupid.
He could have finished it right there and then. Just flip over the card. But no, dragons are invading.
Playing not as many balls as Joey.
There is a giant dragon holding a scythe the size of his body descending from the sky. I think maybe we should do something about that.
But no, worried about Corine's memory because it's totally going to matter when the whole world's dead.
It's either you save her, it's like, doesn't matter if her memory's gone if she's dead.
All right, there's a quick recap of 161, or whatever one it was. I don't really
158?
care. I really don't care. If anyone has the balls to say, to try to correct me in the comments, you're going to get an earful.
An earful of spiders?
Yes. Now, on to the main course. We're here to talk about something that occurred to me when we were at the tournament, at the local tournament the other day. Extremes are kind of assholes. Now, I will go into more detail. We've mentioned in our previous videos different kinds of players, most notably competitive players and casual players. And we gave a lot of players a lot of flack, but it's not all inclusive to them in terms of how they act in settings. For you can be competitive but not be an asshole or a dick. It happens more often than not in that field, but we'll go into that later. The other one, the one I didn't think about because it usually doesn't happen, is the extreme casual player.
Can be an asshole.
Yes. The reason this is because they're like the player that is so casual they are borderline on don't care.
They're apathetic.
Yeah, they're almost apathetic about the game. Like they're only playing it because, well, what else are they going to do?
Well, I've masturbated 7 times today. Better do something else.
Story of my life.
Yeah, well.
Oh, there's your mental image for the day. Hope you brought some brain bleach.
So I'm doing this video to basically talk about what makes a person a extreme casual or extreme competitive player and what problems it causes for not just, a group of people playing, but a gaming community in general. Not just even just cards, but it can also pertain to video games too, or tabletops, etc.
Yep.
It's something that really has to be said, because I know it doesn't sound like it's a big deal but if it doesn't, then it's probably because you are one of those players.
Calling people out.
Damn right, I am. And, well, really, you gotta stop it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look good in the community. It doesn't look good outside, especially doesn't look good outside of the community. It's like there's a reason why the stereotype for anyone who plays card games is a 40-year-old virgin playing Magic.
As our friend Pat so eloquently said once.
I mean, it's because, well, that's the most vocal part of the community. So as you can tell, we're probably talking about the competitive side first. Spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the main view of the card game community, at least for the Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh community. It's usually what you see. Though it does differ, although it does vary between the two. Like I said, for Magic, it's the 4-year-old really angry virgin type who lives in the mother's basements. Yu-Gi-Oh! It's more shrill little kids who won't get out of your face. I, and I'm not saying that both of those aren't based off of some truth, because well, they're seen that way because, like I said, they're the most vocal. But I know there's other players too in both those communities. Or at least I can say that for Yu-Gi-Oh! That there are also casuals, and I know there are in Vanguard.
I know a couple casual Magic players.
But the thing about the casual ones is that recently I saw certain players who were so like whatever about playing the game that
They cost us
they
a Dauntless.
well no that's not the problem. The problem is that they ruined the roster setup in our tournament by both of them leaving about halfway through.
Yep.
I mean, they didn't seem interested. They didn't tell the judge they were dropping out either. They just left. I'm not even sure why, but they didn't seem in a rush. They just kind of were just slowly packing up, talking with each other about stuff, talking with some people about cards, and then they just kind of walked out of the store and never came back.
Apparently, they said they were like from out of state too, which makes me even more confused.
Which definitely makes the question, why were they even here? But that's not here or there.
Why would you drive so far just to drop out of the thing you came to be in?
I don't think that's the reason why they were here, was it? If it is, that just makes it even more confusing.
I remember one of them mentioning they were from Indiana.
Whatever. Well, that's even weird because there's closer tournaments in Chicago. Shut up, you're making me sidetrack again. At any rate, it's like that's the extreme casual side of it. It's people who think that it's no big deal. You know, it's not there's no real problem with leaving a tournament in the middle of it, like a local tournament in the middle of it, and just like not tell anyone. Like it does matter, especially in a local tournament. It matters because the numbers are a lot smaller. Therefore, people leaving makes a much more noticeable difference.
Yeah, me and Katie basically both got gypped out of a game.
I deserved it though.
You were trying to say something, Elliot? Sometimes I wonder if I should just do these videos myself.
I'm trying.
But I can't talk.
He wasn't there.
Well, give us an opinion.
You could write things down and I'll read them out loud.
And if you say something like that, get paper and pen. Anyway, as I was saying,
Thumbs.
it doesn't just pertain to things like just straight up leaving out in the middle of a thing. It also pertains to like, well, say you're trying to trade with the people. They don't want to get rid of their stuff because they think it looks cool, or they want to get the best out of their thing, but then they proceed to do something strictly worse just because they think the other card is cool. Now I know that doesn't sound like much, but think about it from a trader's perspective, or a person who's trying to make their deck complete. They ruined the person's chance to finish their deck, or they ruined the trader's chance to get some good cards for their collection because they wanted to trade for worse cards.
Cost us a Dauntless.
And I don't feel that's necessarily fair either. Because, well, why would you ever do that? I don't see why you have to do that to people when they clearly are willing to trade you all this stuff for this one card. Then you say no, but then you get the same cards anyway, but for different cards in general, even though your value for the trade was a lot better with the other way around. The stuff they got, they could have just gotten the two cards they wanted, plus still had stuff left over. It's dumb. And before anyone wonders, I'm only really shifted gears into the casual because it needed to be brought up because we don't talk about how an extreme casual can pose some problems, and it is something that should be addressed because it's like just because you're casual doesn't mean that you're devoid of any wrongdoing.
Elliot says, not especially fun to play, no effort required.
That's true too. That's actually a really good point. The extreme casual also has a tendency to not especially know what they're doing, or not really have much thought put into their decks. And as a result, it causes them to not play to the best of their abilities, or not have a deck that has real crafting put into it. It could cause people to feel like they didn't deserve the win they got because they beat some newbie.
I've had that feeling many times. It's actually one of the worst feelings I can ever have. I hate it when I win a game that I didn't deserve.
Which is why we were so mad that team tournament last year, when we literally went undefeated the whole day. In fact, we only got one loss during the whole day, and that was in the finals. And by one loss, I mean only one of us. Hey, how's it going? Only one of us actually got a loss, but we still won the whole match.
A loss where you put up a really good fight and it was an intense match is 10 times better than a match that you won just by freaking stronking the other person in the face.
And yeah, it can feel really bad. But that doesn't mean the competitives are going to get off the hook in this video. Because on that same token, those people who are competitive in tournaments can be really annoying to play with. Because they might do things like, I don't know, fight you on freaking how you decide who goes first and when. Even though it says right in the freaking rule books, guys, that you don't freaking decide who goes first after you've done your mulligan. It says clearly in the book that you do that before the mulligan. That way you have a chance to decide what you throw back. It's like, I don't know why you guys thought that it was the other way around, and I don't know why the judges didn't know that wasn't how it worked. They're the judges. You'd think they know what they're doing, but apparently not. Sorry, I was getting a little bit angry there.
Yeah, like, whenever I think of extreme, competitives, I often remember D&D when I was in a group with a guy who was really strict against the rules. To the point of where he would judge my dice and say, oh, 20's next to the 19, you can't use this dice. And he told me that it was in the rule book. Turns out I asked some people around, not in the rule book.
Nope, he was just really anal.
Yeah.
And you have a paper and pen.
That's dumb.
Yeah, well, it's true. And it's funny with the casual and extreme casual gamers. It's not necessarily easy to tell them a mile away. Like, they just look like whatever. With the extreme competitive, it's almost like spotting an elephant in a room of freaking camels or whatever. I don't know.
Bull in a china shop?
Sure, why not? Point is, it's really easy to tell them because they always have like one of these three stereotypical things about them. At least one of them.
They're fat, they have a neck
They're
beard.
either fat, they have a neck beard. What are you doing? Shut up,
We
Elliot.
just described Elliot.
They're fat, they have a neck beard, or they look like they're in their 30s or 40s.
Well, Elliot doesn't have that.
I don't know what it is about those three traits. It's like, if they look like any of those and they play a game, you almost know exactly what they're going to be. Now, that doesn't mean that every one of those people who have those things are necessarily competitive or an extreme competitive player. But it is to say that surprisingly large majority of people who are those things have those traits.
It's like when you go downtown and you see someone with thick-rimmed glasses, skinny jeans, and one of those little beanie hats. Kind of know they're a hipster.
Yep, you know they're hipster. You probably know where they live.
Especially if they're holding coffee.
Yep.
They're most likely from Wicker Park.
Yeah, like it's like stereotypes are stereotypes, but they're also, your friends because they do speak some truth. They wouldn't be stereotypes if there wasn't truth to them in some way. Otherwise, it'd just be like myths or rumors or lies.
I just had a really stupid thought when you said myths or rumors or lies. Guys, I hear that black people are unicorns.
Yeah, see, that would be a lie.
No, that's not true for Rico since he has wings, tails, and can breathe fire.
But you can make the argument that black people like, fried chicken or watermelon because, well, I do like those things. And if you couldn't tell,
Oh, we did have one guy who thought you were Jewish.
somehow,
It's
nah,
the
it's
fro.
true.
Which makes even less sense.
Well, but yeah, like stereotypes are your friend, at least for the most part. I'm not saying every time you see a person, automatically assume that they're that thing. I'm just saying don't be surprised if they are and they have those things. And in gaming, it's generally they're overweight because most likely they aren't, exercising. They're spending most of their time playing the game.
Yes.
Probably have neck beards because they probably aren't, shaving. And probably will age because they've been doing it for a while. I mean, there's logic in this. You okay, Elliot?
He just realized he fit in every part of that description.
He's not middle-aged.
Yeah.
Minus that part. But he looks to be.
He looks like a child with a beard.
Yeah.
God,
I'm pretty sure you can go back into our videos and see Elliot without the beard. He's got a baby face.
Anyway, so I said this about does it for the differences. Now, how to make them go away is a harder thing.
Yeah, for competitiveness, it's mostly
Well, it's just shun them, really. Just make note that you don't like how they're acting. If they keep it up, either report them or just ignore their faces.
call them faggots.
Yeah, or just call them faggots and just leave it at that. If you really want to.
Take the 4chan route.
But it's generally easier just to, either ignore them, call them out on it, or if it's not allowed for them to be certain kind of aggressive, report them to a judge and let the judge take care of it.
And for casual, it's
And
more-
wait.
Oh, sorry.
Because when it comes to extreme competitive, they tend to be very aggressive, and aggressive is generally not allowed in group events because it makes people uneasy and it makes them not feel comfortable. Therefore, you can easily report them because they're exhibiting aggressive behavior that might not be acceptable. You have something to say? All right. The casual, on the other hand, is a bit harder because technically they aren't doing anything wrong. They're doing something that's annoying to everyone else, but it's not the same as, yelling at the other player, or like a certain person I know, when they lost in a tournament, hit the table really hard and screamed in anger because they lost. They don't care. So they aren't actually doing anything wrong, So when you deal with that, it's a lot. The only real thing I could think of for you or anyone to do for extreme casual is to try to express your love for the tournament scene, or explain that there's a certain way you're supposed to act in a tournament scene, and that you gotta at least try.
It's that when you're casual something, you have to respect that there are people who take this more seriously. Don't just think, oh, it's just a game. No, to somebody else, it's something very important, and you have to respect that person holds
It could
a
be
higher value to
it could be an art, it could be a science, and I know that sounds weird, but it's actually true. I mean, heck, our YouTube channel is based off of breaking down the science of these card games and how they work.
game theory.
Yeah.
Oh, you have paper?
Oh, looks like Ellie has something to say.
God, your writing's terrible.
Wow. Way to go, Emily.
That or I just can't read. Does that say Excel or Best Rec?
Katie, go over there.
Maybe it's just I can't read. That was really rude of me. I'm sorry, Elliot.
Anyway,
God.
the other option to deal when you deal with these things is to
Your best wreck.
Collect or Best Rec?
okay, I'm just gonna let them talk because they're really distracting me.
I'm sorry.
Now, what did you say it said?
It said Elector best wreck.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Back to the competitive one. He was mentioning this one time where he was in a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and he beat this big guy's pants off so badly with Gaia, the Synchro Gaia. I forgot what his full name was, but he beat him so bad with it. When he got his prize pack and he opened it up, he yelled out, "Elector, sovereign of birds!" And then he ate it in half. And I was like, so good. Like, yeah, that was funny.
It's about.
And it's a good example of how sometimes extreme competitives can be silly.
It's the kind of thing where it's like if you're competitive, you have to realize some people. Wait, no, if you're casual, you have to realize some people take this seriously. If you're competitive, you have to realize in the end, it's still just a game.
Yeah. And I guess that's really what the moral of this story is. It's just a game, but that doesn't mean you don't have to try to win. I don't know why it's that hard for Gao to understand.
He's adding to this problem.
Freaking having like a breakdown because he beat somebody in a card game because he had an OTK in front of his face that he used. But no, that makes him the bad guy, and it's apparently on the same level as breaking a guy's wrist because you really wanted to win. Even though it's really not, and I still hate that episode so much.
It makes no sense.
But yeah, it's like, it is finding a balance.
Yeah, when you act like, oh man, I won, that's as bad as breaking someone's arm, you're taking the game too seriously.
Yep.
Step
And
back a bit.
again, that's why the Vanguard first season was so good. It wasn't, you're not allowed to want to win, but it was also, it's just a game, have fun. Like, it had both of those elements in it. I don't know why it's
dumber because his motivation in the first episode is completely second. It's completely contradictory.
Yeah, it's true too. I mean,
We gotta think about how we're going to win.
yeah, it's like he literally says that to Drum. It's like now's not the time to think about how we're going to live. It's the time to think about how we're going to win. I mean, seriously. It's like you play games
To win.
to win. You also play them to have fun, but if you're not going to do it to have, to win, you may as well just be jerking off in a corner or something. It's just finding the balance. Any last minute things? Elliot. I'll take that as a no. Alright, well, he writes down his final words. If he can find the pen
It's right there.
underneath his belly. Emily, how about you?
Making fun of Elliot today.
Shut up, Em.
I think we're just happy to have him back.
Hey, Em.
My final thoughts, like I said before, it is a balance. You have to realize when you're being too competitive about a game or when you're being too casual about a game. You have to respect both sides in a sense, but also find a middle ground. There's a lot of compromise when it comes to card games. And if you don't find this compromise, you're just going to make everyone have a bad time.
I think that also applies to video games and tabletops, too.
Video games, tabletops, card games, basically anything. Even sports. If you take a sport too seriously, you're gonna make everyone else who just casually enjoys the game have a bad time.
That's true too. Katie, opinion.
I have no such opinion. I'm a woman.
Phil, opinion.
Yep.
Okay, good.
I'm a woman too, and I have opinions.
Man
I,
today.
uh,
You are a man
I
today.
agree with what you said, Em, and I guess Elliot's ready to write. Show us a paper. If anything, he's not.
Ben, do you have any final words?
No, not really.
Well, since Elliot's clearly not gonna write, I guess we'll just wrap it up here. Long story short, don't be an extreme competitive. Don't be an extreme casual. Both of them ruin games for everyone and ruins the impression of a game for other people who even had a little bit of interest. Oh, it looks like Elliot's writing. What's he writing? What's it say?
Don't be extreme games.
Yeah, man, that works so well. Yeah, it's don't be extreme games.
Thank
Full
you,
of
Elliot.
faggots they are. Losing our
I
freaking
think we
submission.
got something. Final destination, Fox only, no items. There you go.
Well, there you have it. Final Destination Fox, no items.
Yep.
Alright, well, we'll catch you all in the next video. Next video will probably be us raging about a certain Bushi Road events.
Oh boy.
Events. And then, I guess after that, it will be the Buddy Fight episode 7 review. Where I actually don't know what's going to happen because I did not remember to look at the next time.
I think we were just kind of mad at what happened in the episode that we forgot.
Yeah, apparently no one remembers. No one cared. Because that episode was so jarringly bad. I just couldn't even handle it anymore. I had to just turn it off.
Somewhere along the way, I got 3 Terrakions.
Good.
Take
And then after Saturday happens, if the plot actually continues,
Oh God.
we'll do the Vanguard episode review. If something better happened, I mean seriously, 20 minutes of I'm going to beat you, and I just like I'm not going to let you. I'm going to do it. It's like, yeah, and then dragons fall from the sky. And I don't think there's any real new packs or anything, so I don't think we'll be doing anything like that yet.
But sneak
But
peek
there is
for
a
Booster 12!
Well, there is a sneak peek. The Rooster 12 probably doesn't matter as much since you probably already know what the cards are. I mean, the set's only like 6 months old now. And we'll see you all later. Bye.
I got hit.